Hello and welcome to Astronomy Daily, your source for the latest news from across the cosmos. I'm Avery.
And I'm Anna. It's great to be with you. Today, we're covering everything from a new galactic map to the future of spacesuits.
That's right. We'll be looking at how Earth might be making the moon more habitable, checking in on a very busy month for the International Space Station, and even touching on SpaceX's plans to go public. So, let's get started.
Our first story takes us to the very heart of our own galaxy. NASA has announced a groundbreaking new survey using its Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope. The goal is to create an unprecedented map of the Milky Way.
And this isn't just any map. The Roman telescope will be surveying the galaxy in infrared light. For our listeners, that means it can peer through the dense clouds of cosmic dust that normally block our view of the galactic center.
Exactly. It's like having a new pair of glasses that can see through fog. Scientists expect to reveal tens of billions of stars and uncover hidden galactic structures we've never seen before.
Tens of billions. The scale is just staggering. What are they hoping to learn from all this new data?
The applications are vast. They'll be able to study star formation and evolution in incredible detail. But what I find really exciting is the potential to find stellar embers, things like white dwarfs and neutron stars, through a technique called microlensing.
Right, where the gravity of a closer object magnifies the light from a more distant one. This new survey, covering nearly 700 square degrees of the sky, is going to be a treasure trove for decades to come.
It certainly will be. Now, from the galactic scale to the very personal, our next story is about protecting the astronauts who venture into space. Avery, tell us about these color-changing spacesuits.
This sounds like something straight out of science fiction. Scientists in Scotland are developing a fabric treated with a special kind of bacteria. The amazing part is that these bacteria actually change color when they're exposed to radiation.
So the spacesuit itself would act as a radiation detector.
Precisely. The project is called Pigmented Space Pioneers, and the idea is to provide a clear visual indicator of an astronaut's radiation exposure in real time.
That's incredibly important. We know that long-term radiation exposure is a major health risk for astronauts, increasing the chances of developing cancer. This could be a simple but effective way to help them monitor and mitigate that risk.
And it's not just a lab concept anymore. They're actually preparing a sample of this fabric to be tested in space. It will be flown on a small satellite to see how it holds up in the real environment. A very creative solution to a serious problem.
Absolutely. Speaking of environments in space, our next piece of news questions our long-held assumptions about the moon. A new study suggests it might be more habitable than we thought, thanks to a surprising source, our own planet.
How is that possible? Is Earth somehow seeding the moon?
In a way, yes. The study from the University of Rochester proposes that Earth's magnetosphere has been enriching the lunar soil with life-sustaining substances for billions of years.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the mechanism here?
It's all about our planet's magnetic field. As particles escape the upper layers of our atmosphere, the magnetosphere guides them. When the moon passes through Earth's magnetotail, the part of the magnetic field stretched out by the solar wind, these particles can rain down onto the lunar surface.
And we're talking about important particles, right? Like water and nitrogen?
That's right. These are crucial volatiles. The study suggests that the lunar poles in particular could have accumulated significant amounts of these substances over eons. This could mean the moon has far more resources for things like water and air than we previously estimated.
Which would be a massive boost for any plans for long-term human missions or even a permanent base. Less to carry, more to find when you get there. A fascinating connection between Earth and its satellite.
Indeed. Now, let's move from a potential future outpost to our current one, the International Space Station. Avery, it seems they had a remarkably busy November.
Extremely busy. The ISS hit two major milestones last month. First, for the first time in its 27-year history, all 8 of its docking ports were occupied simultaneously. Think of it as a completely full parking garage in orbit.
Wow, that's a lot of traffic. What was the other milestone?
The station also officially celebrated 25 years of continuous human presence in space, a quarter of a century with people living and working in space non-stop. It's an incredible achievement for international cooperation.
It really is. And it wasn't just about anniversaries. The month was packed with activity, including crew rotations with the arrival of Soyuz MS-28 and several cargo resupply missions to keep the station stocked.
Right, and of course, the science never stops. The crew conducted numerous experiments focusing on everything from cardiovascular health and the effects of microgravity on stem cell development to testing new life support systems. Just another month at the office for the ISS crew.
A very busy office. Okay, shifting gears from public space efforts to the private sector, there are some big murmurs coming from SpaceX.
That's putting it mildly. According to several media reports, SpaceX is considering going public with an IPO, an initial public offering, possibly as early as 2026.
And the numbers being discussed are astronomical, even for a space company. The potential valuation is pegged at around $1.5 trillion.
That would make it one of the most valuable companies in the world. The big question is, why now? What would they use that massive influx of capital for?
Well, the speculation points to a truly ambitious long-term vision. The funds could be aimed at building out a network of space-based data centers. The idea is to support the rapidly growing artificial intelligence industry, which requires immense computational power.
Data centers in orbit. That's a new one. It ties into an even grander vision we've heard about before, right?
It seems to be part of a roadmap that could eventually involve building factories on the moon. It's a huge leap, but it shows the scale of ambition in the private space industry right now.
Definitely one to watch. For our final story today, we're going from high finance back to pure science with a look at an interstellar visitor. Anna, tell us about Comet 3I-Atlas.
This is a really neat observation from the European Space Agency's XMM Newton Observatory. This telescope doesn't see in visible light, but in X-rays, and it has managed to capture an image of the interstellar comet 3I-Atlas glowing in X-ray light.
How does a comet produce X-rays? I thought they just reflected sunlight.
It's a process called charge exchange. As the comet gets closer to the sun, it releases gases. When particles from the solar wind, which are highly charged, smash into these neutral gas molecules, they exchange electrons, and this interaction emits an X-ray photon.
Ah, okay. So observing an X-ray gives scientists a different kind of information than a regular telescope would.
A very useful kind. This technique is particularly good at detecting certain gases, like hydrogen and nitrogen, which can be very difficult to spot with other telescopes. So, by analyzing the X-ray signature, scientists can get a much clearer picture of what the comet is made of.
And since this is an interstellar comet, that composition tells us something about the chemistry of the distant star system it came from.
A little postcard from another part of the galaxy.
And that brings us to the end of our space and astronomy news roundup for today. From a new map of our home galaxy and bacteria-infused spacesuits to a more resourceful moon and a record-breaking month on the ISS, it's been another busy day in space and astronomy.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Astronomy Daily. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss an episode, and to visit our website at astronomydaily.io. Until next time, I'm Avery.
And I'm Anna. Clear skies.
Astronomy Daily.